Well, we talked about it, We know we could have done some things, right? But you shouldn't have to overcome to that extent. This shit ain't that hard. We have got to change our challenge rules, and the officials doing the game should have a third party because that was not a foul.
You know it's bad when both coaches are complaining about the refs. Cheryl Reeve went nuclear in her postgame comments. But get this, even the winning coach, Sandy Brondello, said there were issues with the calls. So what's going on here? Why are WNBA fans losing their minds over this final series? We've got all the crazy stats, the controversial calls, and the explosive reactions. It's time to break down one of the wildest finishes in WNBA history. All right, let's talk about the free throw fiasco in this game. You know what's crazy? The free throw count was totally out of whack. I mean, it was so lopsided, it's hard to believe. Let's break down the numbers. The Liberty shot a whopping 25 free throws. And the Lynx? They only got 8. That's a huge difference, right? But wait, it gets even wilder. Here's the kicker. The Lynx actually had more fouls called on them. Yeah, you heard that right. Minnesota racked up 21 fouls while New York only had 17. So how does that math work? More fouls but way fewer free throws? It doesn't add up.
So as you guys seen right there was a foul call against Breanna Stewart. And I'm here to tell you, bro, the fans was not happy.
And this wasn't just a one-game thing. The whole series had some weird foul numbers going on. It's like the refs were playing their own game of hot and cold with the whistle. You want to hear something really crazy? In Game 4, it was a complete 180. Minnesota shot 20 free throws to New York's 9. Talk about a swing. One game you're barely getting to the line, the next you're living there. It's enough to make your head spin. So what's going on here? Is it just random chance? Are the teams playing that differently from game to game? Or is there something else at play? These huge swings in free throw attempts aren't just a footnote in the game. They can completely change the outcome. When one team is getting to the line 3 times as much as the other, that's a massive advantage. We're talking about free points here, and in a close game, those points can be the difference between winning and losing. And it's not just about the points. Getting to the line changes how you play defense. If you're in foul trouble, you can't be as aggressive. You might let players get easier shots because you're afraid of picking up another foul. It ripples through the whole game. But here's the thing. Free throws aren't supposed to be a gift. They're supposed to be a penalty for the defense breaking the rules. So when we see numbers this out of whack, it raises some serious questions about how the game is being called. If you thought those free throw numbers were wild, wait till you hear about the play that turned the game on its head. One moment, one whistle, and suddenly a championship hangs in the balance. But here's the real kicker. Was it even the right call? Picture this. 6.3 seconds left on the clock. The Lynx are up by 2 points. The championship is within their grasp. You can feel the tension in the arena. Every fan is on their feet, holding their breath. This is what basketball is all about. Breanna Stewart of the Liberty has the ball. She's their star player, the one you want taking the shot in this moment. But the Lynx defense is tight. Stewart's forced to throw up a wild shot. It's off balance, desperate. The kind of shot that usually doesn't fall. Then it happens. The whistle blows. The ref calls a foul on Alana Smith of the Lynx. The crowd goes nuts. Lynx fans are in disbelief. Liberty fans are cheering. But was it really a foul? Cheryl Reeve, the Lynx coach, is losing it on the sideline. She's waving her arms, yelling at the refs. You can see the fire in her eyes. She's not letting this go without a fight. Reeve throws out the challenge flag. She wants this call reviewed. Now everyone's eyes are on the refs. They huddle around the monitor, replaying the call over and over. The players are pacing. The fans are arguing. It feels like the review is taking forever. Finally, the refs make their decision. The call stands. It's a foul on Smith. You can hear the collective groan from the Lynx fans. Reeve looks like she's about to explode. Stewart steps to the line. 2 free throws to tie the game. The pressure is enormous. But she's a pro. She sinks them both. Just like that, we're tied up. We're headed to overtime. But here's where it gets really interesting. After the game, Reeve didn't hold back. She said if you looked at the clip, it was marginal contact, no foul, guaranteed.
If we would have turned that clip in, they would have told us that it was marginal contact, no foul.
She wasn't just upset about the call, she was challenging the whole system. Reeve argued that there should be a third party reviewing these calls. She thinks the current challenge system isn't working, and when you look at how this call changed the entire outcome of the championship, you can see why she's so fired up.
You know, sometimes you get away with stuff when you're physical and aggressive, and they certainly did. It's a shame that officiating, had such a hand.
If you thought Reeve was heated during the game, that was nothing compared to what came next. In the press conference, she didn't just criticize the refs, she went nuclear. And her choice of words? Let's just say the league office might have something to say about it. Reeve's post-game press conference was like a volcano erupting. She didn't hold back one bit. You could see the frustration, the anger, the raw emotion pouring out. It was intense, folks. First off, Reeve dropped a bombshell. She flat out said the championship was stolen from them. Yeah, you heard that right. Stolen. That's a heavy accusation to throw around, especially in a professional league. But Reeve wasn't done. Not by a long shot. She went on to rip into the league's challenge system. Reeve argued that it's just not cutting it anymore. She's calling for a third party to review these crucial calls. Can you imagine how that would change the game?
We have got to change our challenge rules, and the officials doing the game should have a third party, because that was not a foul.
Lost a little respect I had for the W. That was the most obvious rigged game I've seen.
It's like she's demanding a complete overhaul of how the WNBA handles these situations. But here's where it gets really wild. Reeve practically dared the media to make her the bad guy. She knew her words were going to make waves, and she didn't care one bit. It was like she was saying, "Go ahead, paint me as the villain. I'm standing by what I'm saying." And then came the kicker. Reeve looked right at the reporters and said, "Bring it on, because this seat was stolen from us." Yeah, she dropped an S-bomb in the press conference. That's how fired up she was.
And I know all the headlines will be Reeve cries foul. Bring it on, right? Bring it on, because this shit was stolen from us.
Now you might be thinking, wow, she's really letting it all out. But here's the thing. These kinds of comments don't usually fly in the WNBA. The league has some pretty strict rules about criticizing officials. We've seen coaches get fined or even suspended for way less than what Reeve just said. So now everyone's wondering, what's going to happen next? Is Reeve going to face some consequences for speaking her mind? Or will the league take a hard look at what she's saying about the challenge system?
Well, we talked about it, we know we could have done some things, right? But you shouldn't have to overcome to that extent. This shit ain't that hard. Those should be the same parameters that you're reviewing with. But the three people that are on the game need a third party to let them know.
But Reeve's rant? That's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a much deeper issue bubbling under the surface of the WNBA. What if I told you that both coaches have been crying foul about the refs from day one of the finals? The plot thickens, and it's about to get even crazier. This isn't just about one game or one heated moment. It's a full-blown officiating crisis that's been simmering all series long. After Game 3, Reeve dropped a bombshell. She said the game is called differently for different stars. That's a pretty serious accusation, right? It's like saying some players get special treatment while others get the short end of the stick. But here's where it gets really wild. In Game 4, it was New York's coach Sandy Brondello's turn to lose it. You'd think she'd be happy after winning, but nope. She was just as fired up as Reeve. Brondello straight up said they got no calls in the game. Can you believe it? The winning coach is complaining about the refs. And Brondello didn't stop there. She basically demanded that the refs be fair. It's like she's saying, hey, we won, but this isn't right. When both coaches are this upset, you know something's seriously wrong. This back and forth isn't just coaches being sore losers. It's showing a real problem with WNBA officiating. Think about it. If the calls are this inconsistent in the finals, what's happening in regular season games? It's enough to make your head spin.
A series like this, obviously there's always going to be a team that's going to be a little more disappointed than the other. I thought today was incredibly disappointing.
And it's not just the coaches feeling the heat. Players are getting frustrated too. Take Nafisa Collier, for example. She's one of the best players in the league, and even she's feeling the impact of these questionable calls. When the stars of the game are struggling with the officiating, that's a red flag. So what happens now? The league's got some big decisions to make. Do they stick with the current system and risk more blowups like this? Or do they shake things up and try something new? Maybe they'll bring in that third-party review system Reeve was talking about. Or maybe they'll retrain their refs. Whatever they do, it's clear that something's got to change. Wow, what a roller coaster of a final series. The WNBA showed us its best and worst sides. We saw incredible plays that had us on the edge of our seats, but also controversy that left fans scratching their heads. It's clear the league is growing, but man, those growing pains are real. Cheryl Reeve said it best when she talked about how many people were impacted by Lynx basketball this season. That's what it's all about, right? Getting fans excited and invested in the game. And even with all the drama, the Liberty winning their first championship is huge for the league. One thing's for sure, next season is going to be wild. The talent's there, the passion's there, and now there's some serious fire to prove a point. You better believe I'll be watching. Will you?